Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Genshin Impact video, and today I'm going to be going over what I do every single day, basically my daily grind, my daily routine that I have started doing since pretty much forever, and it's kind of like translated over to AR50+, and we're almost AR55, so I had figured I'd make this video now, and before 1.2 drops, because once that drops, we're going to have to change everything that we do, so we'll see, and I'll do another one by then when I play the update and kind of get a feel for how things are going. But anyway, a lot of people have asked me for this on stream and through Discord, so I figured I would just show you guys and talk about it now. And I really don't want to make this video way too long, but we'll just see how it goes, basically. Now guys, the first thing that you should do when you start playing Genshin every day doesn't even involve playing Genshin. You guys know I am an advocate for sticky notes, okay? Organization is key in this goddamn game because there's just too many things to do. So if you don't have one of these already, I recommend that you do just make one, or you use one of those infographics from Reddit or something. But I basically just have a note here with all of the characters that I deem relevant, or that are relevant right now for me, or have been in the past, I guess. And these are basically the days that their talent books spawn, and these are the days that the weapon ascension materials spawn for those characters. Those are the weapons that I'm using on those characters. So for example, if I don't really know what to do a certain day, I can just look at this and be like, okay, well, today's Friday, so I might as well farm some talent books for Diluc, which is exactly what I'm going to do today. So that is why I keep a handy dandy list. You can just do this on your phone if you're playing on console, or you can just have a little sticky note on your desktop like this. I highly recommend it. Anyway, based off on this, you now know what you're going to do for the day, and what I like to do is make a priority list. And I have this for my main account, and I have this for my free-to-play EU account, and I basically see what I can do today and what is accessible to me. So right now, I don't have anything that's like specifically gated to one day in the week, so I can just farm Xiangling Ascension materials, which are essentially the Pyro Flower, and after I get her to 80 and Fischl, I can just farm artifacts and stuff like that. And just to give you an example, on my main account, I need to get Kaching to 90, so I need to do the Thunder Cube, I think at least one more time, and then I need to grind the drops for the Black Sword, which are also today. So anyway, this is just a recommendation, guys. I highly recommend that you go ahead and make a list like this so you kind of know what you want and kind of organize your thoughts in your head. It's helped me a lot. Even sometimes I still feel lost, but this just kind of helps in that regard. Now, if you are in a day where you don't really have any specific drops or anything like that, like you don't need any talent books specifically that drop today or something like that, then one of the things you can do is spend your resin on EXP and Mora ley lines, because these are always going to come in handy, especially Mora. However, if you're loaded, or if you're looking to ascend some characters, then you can go ahead and do the world bosses. These cost 40 resin, so you can only do like 4 of them per day, if you are free to play, of course. And if you are free to play, you're only going to have 160 resin pretty much at any given time, but you do get 180 throughout the day, but 180 is still only enough for 4 boss runs. So what you can do is do 1 commission, and then do 1 world boss. And then you do another commission while the boss respawns, and then by the time you finish that commission, you can go ahead and go back to the boss, kill it, and then go do another commission. You're kind of just optimizing your time. Instead of sitting there waiting for it to respawn, you can just do your commissions after doing a boss. That is just a little tip that I can give you, and that's exactly what I do, and that's what I was doing yesterday and the day before when I was farming this thing for Kaching. Another thing is, just for peace of mind purposes, if you are ever close to your resin cap, if you are at least like 150 resin plus, then you can go ahead and just do something. You can do, I don't know, 1 ley line or do 1 boss run, or whatever it is that you need to do for that day, just to get down to about 100 resin, so that way you don't have to worry about, you know, getting capped out on resin while you're doing everything else for the day. The second thing on my list, obviously, that I try to get out as soon as possible is your daily commissions. These things, you can knock them out in like 10 minutes tops. And if you're doing boss runs, it might take you a little bit more than that, but that's okay. And after you do your daily commissions, what I like to do is collect my crystal chunks. Now, the crystal chunk route that I use is one that I pulled from the MiHoYo forums for Genshin, so I'll leave a link to that in the video description, but it's just to go quickly over it with you because it's really not too complicated. You basically just hit the spots that are right next to a teleporter. So you teleport here, and you go here, there's some chunks here. You teleport here, there's some here. And then you teleport over the way over here to the Valley of Remembrance domain. You climb up the mountain, and then you fall down a hole, and there are some magical chunks and crystal chunks there. You then fast travel to this where I'm at, and you run off the cliff, and you will see a big deposit of chunk right here, and then you drop down to the area in Wolvendom, and you'll see these ones right here. You run across from that area, and you climb up the rocks, and there will be some crystal chunks right there. They don't respawn. I think they respawn every 3 days. But anyway, after you get those, you just climb up and follow the path, and there's going to be some right here. After that, I teleport right over here. You walk backwards, collect the chunks over here, and then you just walk up, and there's going to be a bunch of hilichurls just hanging out here. You just go here and kill them. And then I teleport over here, and I don't actually go here anymore. There's a bunch of white iron here if you want to go get it, but I don't bother with that anymore. What I do is I just jump off the cliff right here, and there is a deposit right there. And then sometimes this only really works every 3 days, but you basically just travel here, and there's one here, and then one all the way up here. So you can collect those 3 chunks right there. And after that, we just teleport to the Republic. You teleport here, climb up. There's a bunch of treasure hoarders. There's 2 deposits, one right here and then one right over here. You teleport down to the Guyunstone Forest. There's obviously a big deposit right there. You teleport to the domain that's right next to it, and you walk down. There's a big deposit here. There's another one here. And then you swim across where the hatchling is, and there's another deposit right here on the rocks. And then over here, there's a shitload of ore. You teleport here to Tianheng, you walk down, there's one there, and there's another one right there. And after that, I teleport north of Tianheng, jump down, and fall down into the mines, and get all of these chunks here. And then I teleport down here. There's going to be some treasure hoarders. You just float right over them, and you go into the cave where the Pyro Abyss Mage is, and there's going to be some chunks there sometimes. And then you walk across the river here. You just follow the water and take a right, and then there's going to be some chunks at the bottom. There's going to be 2 deposits next to the Cryo Abyss Mage. You can then also fast travel back up here and go to either Kingshu Pool or under this overpass where the Fatui agent is, and there's a deposit at the bottom of the Kingshu Pool and one right next to the Fatui agent. And after that, you can fast travel here to Lingzhu Pass, just float over. There's some gems over here right next to a Geo Slime. And then you fast travel here to Luhua Pool, and you float all the way over here, and there's some chunks right there. And then I never do this one, to be honest with you, only when I'm really desperate or I barely have any other chunks elsewhere, but you can fast travel here and go here. There's another one over here, but I don't really go to these ones, to be honest. And then finally, you go to Mount Aozong, you jump off the cliff over here to the water, and then you go under the mountain, and there's going to be a bunch of chunks all over this area. So that's a really quick overview of my mining route. You can also come here. I used to come here all the time, but this is only for iron chunks, and you can also get some hilichurl and slime drops, though. So depends on that. If that's worth it for you, you can go ahead and do that. Like I said, I'll leave a detailed guide in the video description. And if you've ever seen me on stream, you'll know that you'll see exactly what I'm doing. So if you're ever curious, just hop by the stream or just watch one of my VODs. I do this every single stream. Now guys, if you want a guide on how to get every single resource in the game, I'm not going to put that all into one video. I don't even have all of them marked on my map, to be honest, and I have a shitload of markers already. I already have 70 out of 99, and whenever Dragonspine comes out, this is pretty much going to consume all of my new markers. I've even put this one randomly here by accident, but I'm leaving it there, just in case something's actually there. It's going to be pretty 500 IQ, to be honest, so I'm just leaving it there just to see what happens. But anyway, the resources that I do have marked on my map are the ones that are relevant to the characters that I wanted to level, but I haven't really gotten rid of them. But just generally speaking, you can get Lampgrass by going here. There's also some over here. There's also some over here in Wolvendom. I just don't have it marked because I already know about it. But for the longest time, I needed Calla Lilies and I needed Violet Grass, and I still kind of need Violet Grass. I also need Silk Flowers and Glaze Lilies, but those literally only spawn in 2 spots, so I know exactly where to go to farm them. I don't need a map guide for that. But I basically just go to my inventory and try to find the resources that I'm low on and target farm those if I can. So for example, I need a lot of Windwheel Aster because I use this to level up Sucrose and Bennett to 90. So I'm running really low on this. So whenever I can, I do try to go out of my way and get these. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get any Knock Jade or Kingshin Flowers or Lampgrass because I have so much of these materials that I could max out 2 or 3 characters. And I'm just passively collecting them, I'm not going out of my way to collect them. If I'm just running around the world doing my commissions, doing whatever, and I come across these resources, I pick them up. For example, if they ever release a new Hydro character that requires Star Conches, I only have enough for 1 character, and I don't even have enough Windwheel for 1 character. So I definitely need to farm this up. I need to farm up some mushrooms. So these are the 3 resources right now that I try to go out of my way to get. And Violet Grass as well. I had to use up a lot of it to level up Xinyan. So yeah, I don't really go for these resources anymore because I have a crap load of them, so I just look for the ones that I am missing out on and go for those. Kiostin, I think that's how his name is pronounced, has a guide on how to find all of these resources, and his map is basically the one I use for all of mine. So I'm just going to leave a link to the playlist in the video description so you guys can go ahead and find the resource that you're low on, and you can go ahead and mark those on your map. And that's what I recommend that you do. I mean, unless you have like a million hours to play Genshin every day, collecting all of the world spawns every single day for this, I mean, they only spawn once every 3 days, I'm pretty sure, or every 2 days. But still, this is going to take you so much time. I don't think that's realistic for anybody to do. And to be honest, you're going to have a lot of these resources just from playing the game, unless you've been like leveling up characters like crazy and not farmed like any artifacts or anything else in the game. So that's what I recommend. Just look at the resources that you are actually low on and target farm those. 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 a day is honestly not too bad, especially if it's something like Windwheel or these two that don't really spawn too much. But for example, the world has like 1,000,000 dandelion seeds, 1,000,000 lapgrass a day, a shitload of violet grass you can get a day, so you don't really have to stress too much over those. The other thing that I do if I have time, which I usually do on stream on my days off because it does take a little while, maybe 30-40 minutes when you're doing it solo, is a mob farming route. And the mob route that I use is the one that Lionheart made. I don't have it marked on my map because I kind of have it by memory now. I kind of fuck it up sometimes, especially when I get to this Lingju Pass area. But for the most part, I kind of know it already by memory. But if you guys don't have it, I will be leaving a link to this image in the description so you guys can go ahead and use it. But you basically start off here at the Creature Slope, and then you just do a whole loop and you get a crap load of mob materials for almost every single kind of enemy. There's a lot of Hilichurls, there's a lot of Fatui, there's a billion Fatui, and there's a lot of treasure hoarders as well. So this is a really good route, and I used to run this pretty much every single day, and I still am reaping the benefits of doing those routes every single day. And the best part is that you can actually do this with multiple people. So if you have friends to play with, you can go into your world, do this route, then join their world, do the route again, and you basically have up to 4 times the amount of drops. You're basically just going to be set for life in terms of mob materials. So like I said, I'll be leaving a link in for that image in the video description so you guys can go ahead and use it if you want. That's pretty much the best mob route that I have found so far, and I mean, I've been using it for a million years, so I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and check out Lionheart and check out his route and use it because it's actually very good. The other thing that I have also started doing only recently, to be honest, has been artifact route farming, and this is because I've ran into the issue where I literally just have no artifact to level up my current artifacts. So I will be leaving a link to this image, which is the route that I have been using. You get a lot of EXP. This is just a bunch of whites and blues at times, but they add up. You can basically do like 5 levels worth of artifacts per day if you get this. So even if you're a whale or if you're a low spender or a, you know, whatever it is, this has huge value. So again, I'll be leaving this image in the video description. I got this from 4chan a million years ago, but I never used it. But I've started using it recently, so I don't actually know who to credit for this. It doesn't have like a watermark or a signature or anything, so I will be, like I said, we'll be leaving a link for this image in the video description. You guys can go ahead and use it. I highly recommend it. Anyway, after all that, there really isn't much left for me to do except spend the remainder of my resin, which, like I said, I just decide what I'm going to do at the beginning of the day, or what I'm going to farm at the beginning of the day, and that is essentially what I use my resin on. After you spend your resin, or for example, if you're free to play and you don't really have a whole lot of resin to spend, you just, you know, do a couple bosses or a couple of condensed and basically call it a day, you can target farm mobs. So if you need a specific type of drop in particular, I know a lot of people, including myself, are really suffering over freaking Hilichurl arrows. You can definitely go ahead and target farm these specifically. So I mainly do this on my free-to-play account because I needed like 1,000,000 treasure hoarder insignias because all my freaking characters use treasure hoarder insignias, and they also use a lot of arrows and Fatui badges. So I have been doing this on my free-to-play account. On my main account, I haven't really had to do this because, like I said, I used to run that mob route so much that I haven't had to farm anything else in like a million years. But for example, you can see I only have 70 blue arrows and I only have 4 purple ley lines, bro. 5 purple knives, And I don't think I have any purple bones, actually. Oh, I do, but only 6. So even though I have a shitload of these drops left over from my mob farming days, most of my high rarity materials are pretty much gone. So I'm definitely going to have to end up doing this more, especially this and the arrowheads. So that is definitely something that I recommend that you do. Just target farm the mobs that have the things you need the most. I wouldn't say do each and every single one unless you have that much time on your hands. But definitely go ahead and try and do this. So yeah, another reminder that I want to give you guys is that mob farming route, the artifact farming route, and this target farming for the mobs, you can share most of it with your friends. If you have friends, you basically have 3 times the amount of runs that you could possibly do. And if you guys don't have a lot of friends or people to play with, then go ahead and join our Discord. We have a bunch of really active members on the Discord, ranging from all types of ARs, okay? So there's definitely some people on there that would gladly be able to play with you, and you guys can just help each other out with a bunch of drops and just have more fun, because any game is more fun in co-op and stuff like that, as long as you're not trash. If you're trash, stop being trash, thank you. Now, guys, I know that this video has been mainly me just talking and showing you images and stuff like that, but I mean, if you want to see me do each and every single one of these things, you can just watch my streams. I basically do this, like I said, every day, or most of those things every day. I don't really have a lot of time because, you know, when I'm making videos or streaming, that eats up a lot of my time, and I have a full-time job, so I don't have like that many hours in the day to play. So if you want, come by one of my streams and you guys can kind of see it in action, or you could just check out one of my VODs and play through it and watch me go through the chunk route, the mob route, and everything like that. So yeah, I hope that this video has helped you guys. I hope that I answered your questions, because I did get asked this quite a lot. And like I said, guys, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description for everything, for the mob route, for the artifact route, and for the chunk route, okay? So if you want to look at any of those things specifically, I will leave those links in the description. Well, anyway, guys, I feel like I'm just saying the same things over and over again, so I'm just going to cut it off here. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I want to thank my patrons for their continued support, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.